So this is my grow area that I've set up in a corner of my apartment. It is April outside and it's very cold, but I have a lot of things started in here ready to go outside in a month or so. And I'm making this video to show the process of how I set up this grow area, which is self-contained and self-watering and also has automatic lighting. So it's very simple. It was also very simple to set up, and the cost of buying everything to make it was under $70, so it was pretty inexpensive. So here is the general habitat where my little garden is. So this is just a inexpensive bookcase that we already had in my bedroom, and I've got a bunch of woodworking junk here. It's really messy, and then come down and there's some tools and some seeds and stuff like that. And then in the bottom there's this little glowing area with a white cover over it, and this is the grow area. So this is just a piece of heavy canvas that I had left over from a different project, and this isn't necessary, but I just wanted to cover up the area where my grow light is, because sometimes I like to nap in the day and I didn't want it shining in my face, because unfortunately my bedroom is the only place that I had space for this. So that's why there's this cover on it, but that's totally unnecessary. I just sewed one edge on the bottom and then tacked it to the lower shelf. So then when you open that up, as you will see, there's lots of stuff growing. The lighting, as I said, is automatic, which is not rocket science to figure out. I bought a T5 full spectrum bulb, which I will paradoxically turn off the light so that it is easier to see the light itself. It's pretty basic. I got it at Lee Valley. It's called Sun Blaster. Interesting name. It was about $35, I believe, for the bulb and the light fixture. So it came with that and the cord to plug it in. So yeah, it's a full spectrum bulb, so it recreates natural sunlight pretty well. I have only one of these set up. It's the 22-inch version, and it has been more than adequate for growing a variety of plants in here. I've got tomatoes started, I've got some tree collards, I've got strawberries, I've got lettuce, I've got all kinds of stuff. It's been more than adequate for all of these. So the way that this light is actually installed on the shelf is just via these little clips that come with this particular light when you buy it. I'm not sure if other grow lights have the same situation, but it's just a little clip that looks like this on both sides, and it's got a screw hole in the middle. And this whole light fixture, I can't do it one-handed, but it pushes in and out. So there's one on this end, one down here. So what I did was, in my particular case, I removed this shelf that the light is attached to the bottom of. I measured just where I wanted these, I screwed them in, and then the whole light fixture just snaps in. So it's very, very easy to set up. It took me under 5 minutes, and again, with this particular kit, this was included. I'm not sure if that will be the case with all of the grow lights that are out there, but in my case it made it very, very easy. One problem with the bookcase that I had available is that it's black, and black is fine for decor purposes, but for the purposes of growing things and reflecting light, it's not ideal. So ideally you want something that is reflective or white, because white reflects light really well. Just if you're setting up a thing like this, it's a good idea to have a background that is not black. So contact paper has worked well for me. It's moisture resistant, and also when I'm done with this I can just take it off, which is a nice feature. And the other, I guess, sort of main component of this system is the self-watering system. This is something that I've set up only within the past week. The reason I've set it up is because I'm going away for a few days, and I didn't want all my hard work to go to waste if all my plants were dying. So I went to, again, Lee Valley, the same place that I got the lights, and I picked up a sheet of, I guess it's called capillary, I'm not sure, matting, and it's a self-watering system that works actually really, really excellently. Like, I'm really pleased with it so far. So when you buy it from Lee Valley, it comes in this kind of plastic packaging. You get this stuff, which is the matting itself. It's kind of like a felt texture. You get 3 feet by 6 feet of this, and then 3 feet by 6 feet of this underlay that you just put beneath it to prevent the water from ruining whatever you're placing it on. And you get all of it. Was only $20 for 3 feet by 6 feet, so I think that's a pretty fair price. So the way that this works, or the way that I've set it up anyway, is I cut a piece of the matting that is the same size as the shelf that I have here, and cut an equal sized piece of the underlay underneath, and then I've cut a just rectangular piece that I stuck part of it under. I stuck part of this rectangle in a vat of water, and then part of it also underneath the large mat that's covering this whole area. The one thing that I did do is on a bunch of the plants I stuck a little piece of additional matting, like a little wick, through the drainage hole that I had in the bottom, just so that it has, it for sure has contact between the soil and the matting. I'm not sure that's really necessary, but because I have these little tiny pots that don't have that much weight, they weren't really like pressing down on the matting, so I thought that would be a good way to ensure that the water is getting sucked up in there. And yeah, as I said, I've had this set up for a week. I have not watered any of these plants in a week except via the self-watering system, and it works really well. Not that my artistic skills of doing a rendering of what this looks like are that fantastic, but I just thought this might be a good, straightforward representation of how I've got things set up. So just to reiterate, so there's the bookcase, there's the grow light, which is screwed into the bottom shelf of the bookcase, and then this grow light is attached to a timer, so that's self-evident. The automatic watering component of the system is because of this matting, so I've got just a water source, so a container that you fill with water. I've just used a Tupperware. You want to make the lid of the Tupperware or the container that you're using as close to the level that the plants are sitting on as possible, so that you're avoiding siphoning water from the water source to the plants, or conversely, like sucking the water out of the plants to send it into the water source, or to send it into the container. So you want that about as level as you can make it. And then the water will be absorbed from this pool into the area where it's drier. So it's wet. It's the wettest here because it's 100% water, surprise. And then as the plants absorb and suck up water from the mat, more water will go from the water source into the mat. And then the plants soak up the water as they need it, and it keeps continuing until your water runs out here. So as long as you have water in this container that you've got, it's going to keep sending it in there. So it's more or less automatic. You just need to refill it every few days. So once you've got this established, it's a very low maintenance system. I don't even have to turn on and off the lights. I don't even have to water it except to refill this container, which lasts several days. It's a really great setup. And the plants are really healthy. As I said, I've got lots of things growing here that are a bit challenging, I think, to grow in lower light situations, but they're doing pretty well. So I am really pleased with it, and I would really recommend trying this setup out yourself. If you have limited space, if you have limited light, it works really well.